Today I'm going to walk you through my super easy beginner-friendly solar setup that costs less than $2,000 and powers my entire tool shed, including a little AC unit. The best part about this setup is it's entirely plug and play. There's no wiring or electrical knowledge needed. There's only a couple of components and they're all available on Amazon. And by the end of this video, you're going to know everything you need to get this set up for yourself if you'd like. I'll show you how to hook it up, what it's capable of powering, and provide a full cost breakdown of each component so you can decide if this is the right setup for you. You may have seen my previous video about my $600 solar setup a couple of months ago. This setup is basically the same thing, just scaled up with more solar and more battery capacity. The reason I decided to upgrade is because it's summer now and I needed something that could run a little AC unit to keep my shed cool. I'll go into more detail about that later, but first let me explain what the system is made up of and how it works. So the foundation of this solar system is this A3 P310 power station, which costs about $1,100. If you compare that to other similar power stations, that's a pretty good price. And no, A3 is not paying me anything for this video. The reason I love power stations is because they have all the components you need for solar power built in. No need for wiring or assembling anything, it's all right here in one simple package. It's got a battery built in, you can plug solar panels straight into it to recharge the battery, and it's got AC ports on the front that you can plug stuff into. I have a lot of power stations, but I just always find myself coming back to the A3 P310 because it's such a good balance of size and battery capacity. It's pretty slim, as you can see, so it doesn't take up too much space. And if I need to move it, it's got wheels and a suitcase handle so I can roll it around. But I mostly just keep it parked right here in this central location so I can power things on either side of my shed. It has 4 AC outlets on the front, plus a 30 amp RV plug, and plenty of USB-A and USB-C ports here on the front that you could use to power small devices. Out here in my shed, I mostly just use the 4 AC outlets. I use one for my air conditioning, one for a small fan, which I'll explain later, and one for a power strip. The power strip I have plugged in keeps all my cordless tool batteries charged. As long as the A3 is turned on, my batteries are going to stay charged. And then I also keep my overhead light plugged into it as well. And then I leave one AC port empty. I save that empty one for my larger tools like my miter saw, table saw, shop vac, whatever I need to plug in for the project that I'm working on at the time, I can plug in there. The A3 has this nice bright screen on the front where you can see how much battery you have remaining, how many watts you have going out, how many watts of solar you have coming in, and how long until your battery is either fully charged or fully depleted. It can put out up to 3,600 running watts, and so to give you some context, my little AC unit pulls about 500 watts when it's actively cooling. My overhead light pulls about 90 watts. This little fan pulls about 40 or 50 watts. My miter saw, table saw, and shop vac all use about 1,200 to 1,500 watts each. So it can handle all those things no problem with 3,600 running watts. Now let's talk about recharging the A3 P310 with solar. It can take up to 2,000 watts of solar input via the XT90 port on the back, but more importantly it can handle up to 160 volts of solar input. When you're looking at power stations like this, the volts that it can take is really the most important part because that tells you how many solar panels you can plug in. Behind my shed, I've got these 4 solar panels that are all plugged into the A3. This one is a 215 watt panel that's about 21 volts, and these 3 are all 200 watt panels that are about 25 volts each. So we've got a total of 815 watts and about 96 volts. Remember I said the A3 can handle up to 160 volts, so we've got room for more panels. The reason I'm using these 4 panels is because these are the panels that I have. This 215 watt one on the end is from Sun. It's very nice. I wish I had more of them. These 3 panels are just the cheapest 200 watt panels I could find on Amazon. They're not very high quality. If I was in your shoes, starting from scratch, I would either get a 4-pack of Sun's 200 watt panels or a 2-pack of their new 450 watt panels. I haven't tried their 450 watt panels yet, but I emailed Sun and found out that those panels are 35 volts each. So you could really have 4 of those, which would get you really close to that 2,000 watt mark and still keep you under 160 volts. But regardless of what panels you go with, it's really easy to connect them together like this. Every solar panel is going to have 2 cables on the back, a positive one and a negative one. And each cable is going to have these connectors on the end called MC4 connectors. We can connect multiple solar panels together just by taking the positive cable from one panel and the negative cable from another panel and hooking them together like that. And you can add even more panels the exact same way. No matter how many solar panels you add, you're going to be left with an empty positive cable on one end and an empty negative cable on the other end. Those two empty cables are what we're going to use to plug into the power station in a minute. To connect this solar array to your power station, you're going to need a set of PV cables. These come in various lengths and thicknesses. These are 20 feet long and 10 AWG. I got these on Amazon too. I'll link them down below like everything else. But these have the same MC4 connectors on either end, so they'll plug right into your solar panels. So you'll plug your positive PV cable into the empty positive of your solar panel array, and your negative PV cable into the empty negative on the other side of your solar panel array. And yes, these are my solar panel stands, don't judge me. Now you're going to run your PV cables inside. I have mine running through this window. You see I've got my PV cables coming in through the window, and here's the other end of them. It has the same MC4 connectors. So what we're gonna need is an adapter that takes MC4 connectors and turns it into an XT90 plug. This adapter comes with the A4E P310. So you just gotta plug in the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative, and then plug the XT90 into the power station. And just like that, you're gonna see solar start to roll in. You see it's ticking up. It's fluctuating a little bit, but it looks like we're ranging from about 500 to 530 watts. It's fluctuating a lot today because it's partially cloudy outside. So whenever a cloud covers up the sun, it goes down, and now it's going back up. You see how it fluctuates. So let's talk about how I've been using this to keep my shed cool during this hot summer. Now, if you remember earlier, I said the AC unit pulls about 500 watts continuously. When you've got more than 500 watts of solar coming in, that's no big deal. It'll run indefinitely. However, on cloudy days or later in the day, you're going to have less than 500 watts of solar coming in. So the AC unit's going to be draining your battery. The A4E P310 has a 3,840 watt hour battery. With a fully charged battery and no solar coming in, you could run that AC unit for about 6.5 hours. So here's what I do to balance it out and make sure I don't run out of battery. If I'm not out here in the shed, I put the Garvey unit in fan only mode, so it's pulling outside air in. And that only uses about 50 to 60 watts. Then I have this other little fan running as well, pushing hot air out. Together, both fans running only use about 100 watts. So with the battery capacity of the A4E plus the solar panels I have out there, I'll never run out of battery just running those two fans. I usually turn them off at night and back on in the morning, and you'd be really surprised at how effective just these two little fans are at keeping it cool in here. So that's what I do most of the time. But then when I know I'm going to come out here soon and be working on something for a while, I turn on the AC and let the Garvey unit cool it down to a really comfortable temperature in here. Sometimes I look at the A4E app, and if there's more than 500 watts of solar coming in, I'll go ahead and turn on the AC just in case I might come out here later. So basically I can run the fans indefinitely and they keep it manageable out here, and then I turn on the AC whenever I need it to be really comfortable. That's what I've been doing for about 3 weeks now, and I haven't run out of battery. I've been really happy with this setup. I've been able to come out here when it's 90 plus degrees and work on stuff. Last summer I really couldn't even come out here unless it was nighttime. So this summer, being able to come in here and it actually feels good compared to the outside is such a game changer. And if my shed was insulated, this would work even better. Okay, so I think I've already mentioned the cost of everything, but just to save you from doing some math, here's the cost of the whole system. The A4E is about $1,100, the PV cables are about $40, and 4 200 watt panels cost $658. So your total is $1,798. If you go with 2 of the 450 watt panels, those cost $760. So your total is now $1,900. Then if you want to upgrade with 2 more 450 watt panels for a total of 4, which is what I plan on doing eventually, your total will be $2,658. So there you go. I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know what you think about the setup and what you would do differently. I'll leave links down below for everything that I mentioned. I'll see you in the next one.